Right, so this is the third part of how I Photoshop bird photos, and we've done the resizing of the picture, we've done the framing or cropping the photo. So this now is where I go on to sharpening to make it look a bit more sharp. Now when I get to here, I don't work on the original photo, I work on a copy, so that if you go wrong it's easy to go back from the start. And also it's useful there as a comparison to what you started with to see if it has actually improved the photos, which is why you're doing this. So in the layers box, right click where it says background. Background is the main photo, and click duplicate layer. Okay, so now you've got two copies of the photo. This makes the top copy invisible, that makes the background invisible. The background, don't forget, is the main original copy, and this one is over the top. At the moment there's no difference because they're identical, but work on the top copy, and then if it goes wrong you can just delete it and start again, and the original copy is still there. So now sharpening, the key thing about sharpening is not to do too much. One mistake a lot of people make is over sharpening. It should be just quite subtle, because hopefully you've picked out a photo which is relatively sharp anyway. Trying to sharpen a really blurred photo isn't a good idea, so it's got to be pretty sharp to start with. It's just making it even better. Now sharpening is in the filter part of the menu, down to sharpen, and you don't pick sharpen as you might think, you pick unsharp mask, which is a better choice to use. Now if you click on that, this box come up. I tend to use preview ticked so you can see what's going on in the whole photo as you go. Now these are the settings what I use as my standard. These two at the bottom, radius and threshold, I don't change at all. I leave radius at 1.0, okay, which I'm not sure exactly what it means, but it means, you know, that's as it goes down to 1 pixel differences. Threshold, I can't remember what that means, but I put it on 0. I think a while ago I looked up these values and used somebody's suggestions, that's why they're on there, but I totally leave it on there all the time. The amount is the thing I change. Now the amount really depends on the size of the photo. If I have a photo similar to this or a bit bigger than the screen, I find 40 is a good amount to use. If you go higher than that to 100 say, sliding it up, it can often make it look a bit artificial and over sharpened. So these differences are only subtle though, so I generally find 40 is a good one to use. It's like you got to hold back almost. Sometimes if that doesn't look quite right, you can click on and off preview to see the differences. That's it sharpened, that's it's not. Only a subtle change, but I think that makes a difference. Sometimes I go down to 20 if the 40 looks a bit too artificial, but generally I use 40 or 20. Only occasionally, if I have to do, I'll go higher than that. If you're trying to sharpen a massive photo though, which you've not really reduced much, you may have to go up to 80, 100, etc. It all depends on the size of the photo, but 40 is what I generally use. And you can see by clicking the top copy on and off what difference it's made. Off, on. You might see, oh, there's not hardly any difference. Good, you don't want much difference, it's just a subtle change. Off, slightly sharpened. Okay, that's the sharpening done. Next time we'll look at more about the leveling or lighting of the picture.